What's up guys, I've got another video for you today. Today is a plugin review and it's a very exciting one because it is a new plugin by Waves Audio. It is the Curves AQ, the world's first autonomous EQ. Now this is an adaptive EQ, so the theory is you can apply this to instruments or to a mix and the EQ will adapt and learn the best EQ and also give you varieties of EQs that you can use based on suggestions and on genres as well. So in theory, using this plugin, this is definitely for someone who struggles to mix, or maybe you want to mix your tracks quickly. Maybe you're a beat maker or a producer who got to make lots of tracks, so you don't want to spend too much time mixing. So hopefully this plugin can help you. So what I've got today is I have a track that I've been working on just for publishing purchases, just making a song, uploading it. You don't need to know that, but that's the context. So I'm going to apply the Curves AQ to acoustic guitar, which has been recorded in live. I'm going to apply it to a vocal as well, and also to the output mix to see if we can effortlessly improve the quality of the production. So if you're new to the channel, by the way, make sure you smash the subscribe button, and I will leave a link below so you can check out this plugin for yourself after this video in the description. So with all their mandatories out the way, what I'm going to do first is, at the moment on the output, the last two tracks I've got the IDX, which is a great plugin, by the way, which I highly recommend you check out, and I'll also leave a link below if you want to check that out as well, because this plugin is quite similar in what it does, but this does more to the dynamics of a track. So I'll leave a link below in the description for the plugin review of that, and I'm also going to turn off the L1 Ultra Maximizer, I can't even speak, and we're going to apply the Curves AQ. So this is the plugin in a nutshell. I've been playing around with it a little bit before recording this video, of course, just to get to grips to it so I can give you a good rundown of what it does. So to give you a quick tour, basically what we have here is you have two different signals that it is doing. It's doing boosts and it's doing cuts at the same time, adapting to the signal that it's getting in. Also, you've got a button up here so it can learn. So as you play the track, it will listen to it, learn, and it will give you EQ suggestions. You can do it by genres as well. You can do it by instruments, and you can make it adaptive. So there's loads of different things you can do, and as you can see, there is lots of different suggestions that you get. We're going to do this in a second, but firstly as well, this here is the threshold, so you can basically see how much of the EQ that it's put in that you want to actually apply. So you can just adjust the sort of sensitivity of it, and also we've got the mix sense as well. If you have a side-chained audio, you can mix the side chain in as well to get a good balance of whatever you side chain in. So that's just the briefest rundown. There's also these little features here for like offset, where you can adjust the EQ this way, which might work when you're adjusting things, but right now it doesn't really look like it is going to do a lot. So what we need to do is firstly see this in action. So we're going to do firstly from the actual mix itself. So we've got our mix setting up here, and I'm just going to play this track from the chorus, a pretty loud part of the production, because you want it to basically get an understanding of everything that's going on, and we're going to get it to learn and see what it does. We'll go from here. And it will load up. Okay. Here we go. So it has given us some potential suggestions. We can also change by the genre. So say this was like, I want to say it was more country track, I could click country pop, and all of a sudden it's got different suggestions. So it's not just 5 suggestions, it analyzes your track and it gives you a multitude of different EQs that you can do to improve your mix. Now, the one thing, the note I've taken from this mix is there's a little bit of a high problems where it's a little bit too harsh at times. So I'm hoping the Curves AQ can fix that. So for now, we're just going to stick with pop, straight up pop, just to see if that will be a good fit. So let's have a listen through some of these, and firstly let's have a listen without. Okay, let's start flicking through a couple of EQs, and we're going to turn it up to about 50 so we can hear it in action. We'll turn a bit more. I quite like this one because it adds a little bit more mid, and the one thing I thought this tracking was missing that bit of like punch, and it's rolled off the high end as well, which I'm glad it did. A lot of these it has seemed to roll off the high end, which is good because I said obviously that was one thing I think with the mix I had a problem with. I'm going to quickly try just country pop because there's a lot of acoustic guitar, piano, and like live drums and strings, so I feel like it might do a good service doing country pop. So let's just have a listen quickly to some of the country pop suggestions.
You went so far, and I know what I am in your hands, but now I must stand. Oh, I can't change the way you think of me, the times we spend is meant to be.
Not as much of a fan,
Cherry blossom falling, leaves time go.
but I'm a big fan of this one. And obviously with the tilt you can slightly adjust things depending on where you want the offset to be. So if you feel like it's nearly there but it's a little bit too bassy, I might turn this down a little bit just to kind of like reduce a little bit. But it also does pull back the high end, so I don't really see myself using the offset that much, if I'm being honest. But to be honest, for a quick mix, and like I like using Logic's mastering as well. So I'll just click on it, and it does a pretty good job at doing a basic master. As you can see here in my channel, I do it quite early on, then I just adjust around it. So this is going to be a time saver for mixing on the output track, and especially like if you're mixing in genres as a producer that you're not really familiar with, you can really hope. Oh, I'm going to try acoustic actually very quickly. You can hope that it's going to do you a service and help you out, get a mix sounding how it probably should. Let's have a quick listen. There's the system overlay. Okay, this is a lot better. That's too high. Now, another thing that's really cool is you can actually turn down the intensity of the low cut and the high like boost that it's doing. So I might think that, okay, maybe there's a little bit too much high boosting going on, as you can see in the high end, so I'm going to turn this down. And in headphones, that makes it sound like it's just a little bit less sibilancy, and I love it. So that's the whole mix part, but we want to see this on individual tracks. So I'm going to go through the very daunting prospect of just soloing my vocal on a YouTube channel. So please hold back your judgment, but we're going to use the Curves AQ, and we're going to set it to an instrument, vocal, male vocal, and now we're going to see if it can do a good job at mixing the main vocal in this track. Here we go. And yes, the auto-tune is a bit obvious. And these are, yes, blue light glasses as well. Not flattering, but they do the job. Here we go. Okay, what's he going to do? Okay, so we got suggestions already. Some of these look very interesting, to say the least. So let's have a listen through some of these and see if it improves the vocal.
Change the way you think of me. The times we spent was meant to be. Cherry blossom falling, leaves time goes.
Let's try. I don't really like actually what it's done. I don't like the boosting it's done, so maybe I'll turn the boosting down. Okay, not really sure what it's done with that. I'm going to see where I've put it in the chain quickly. So I have put it before the reverb in the chain, so I feel like it should be ignoring that.
And I know what I am.
Let's try and mess with this a bit.
But now I must stand. Oh, I can't change the way you think of me. The times we spent was meant to be.
There's just a little bit in the mid. So one thing we do is we can turn down a little bit what they're doing. Just try and ease these off a bit. Just adjusting off.
Cherry blossom falling, leaves time go.
Let's have a listen to this when we turn it all down a bit more.
'Cause one day you were standing there, the next the memories are to bear. The past is now regrets and should have known. not to let you be alone.
I mean, it makes it better. Would I say it was already better than already done? I mean, I feel like it's trying to correct some of the things that is probably wrong with the vocal in terms of like the brightness. So it's okay. I wouldn't think the suggestions that have come up have been that good, and also it's for alternative. So it's kind of a bit of we're not sure about that kind of vibe we got. However, the adjustments that I can make does make it a good effective EQ still. You can have control over everything here. So I might just roll off that because I don't know why it's boosted 500 to 1K. Don't really like that in my vocal.
I'm in your hands, but now I must stand. Oh, I can't change the way you think of me. The times we spent was meant to be.
Okay.
Cherry blossom falling leaves, time go.
I mean, it does sound good now, and there's a lot of things that it's doing, which I feel like is helping. Let's have a quick listen to before and after of the vocal. Not that plugin, obviously. We want to listen to this plugin. Okay, so this is the before.
I'm in your hands, but now I must stand. Oh, I can't change the way you think of me. The times we spent was meant to be. Cherry blossom falling leaves, time goes.
I mean, one thing I do like is there's some problems in the low end, which it's actually done a good service at starting to fix. I feel like there'll be a little bit more adjusting that needs to happen to be able to get this 100% right. But overall, I am happy with how the vocal sounds, about probably like 90-95% there. So it hasn't completely fixed the EQing problems that it had straight away, but it's done a good service. And I mean, it's done it quicker. I mean, I could, in that time, adjust an EQ around, but the adaptive nature of it, this is the thing that's very key with this plugin. It's adaptive. So you can put an EQ on, but the EQ isn't going to adapt unless you've got something like the F6. If you are a Waves plugin user, that has adaptive nature to it, or some sort of dynamic EQ in general. But yeah, so like, I mean, it's actually a very handy tool, this, and I feel like if I had this on a lot more plugins, you would just have a cleaner mix for it. We're going to quickly listen to on acoustic guitar and see what it does, because the acoustic guitar, I purposely had a little bit of background noise because I wanted the guitar to have a little bit of a lo-fi sound, like a little bit crackle to it, almost like vinyl. So have a listen to this firstly. Okay, let's add the Curves AQ. So we're just going to do adaptive for now and see what it does. And then we'll change the acoustic guitar if we're not happy with what it does. So it's analysing the track. Okay. Whoa, that's bright. Right, let's turn that down a bit. Okay, so there's a couple of these. Oh, that's quite nice, maybe. Oh, I like that. Okay, I'm a lot more impressed of how it's handling the acoustic guitar over the vocal. I mean, I struggle to mix my vocal in general, but acoustic guitar, it's one of them ones which can be quite hard to mix. But it's done a good job of elevating what I've already done to the acoustic guitar without adding too much brightness. I was a bit worried at the start of this video that it had tendencies to add too much brightness to tracks. However, I feel like if you can adjust these settings here, which are very handy, you can control that. And you can find the exact sound that you're looking for by adjusting just these two knobs here, which is very handy. If we're just being hypothetical here, we could quickly just go to the setting for acoustic guitar and see how the options differ. We've had a couple of changes there. Let's have a quick listen. It's taken a lot of low end out, so I'm just going to lower this, bring a bit of low end back in, and take out a little bit of the highs. I mean, when you listen to it in context with the mix, if it plays, yeah, lovely stuff. Actually, I will turn it high. Okay, actually, do you know what? I take it back, because obviously when you listen to an instrument in isolation, everything is amplified. You can hear everything more. But I actually do like the brightness that it has tried to add when it's in context to the rest of the mix. So overall, my thoughts on this plugin is, I think it's a very good plugin. I think it could help out a lot of people. I think if you are someone who's a beginner to intermediate producer, this is really going to elevate your productions to the next level mix-wise, just because of especially its adaptive nature. I think this is the key thing to take away from this EQ here. This is what you should be getting it for. If you're just looking for a good EQ in general, obviously it's only got the 4 channels to it, so it may not be a good plugin if you're just using it for an EQ, but if you're using it as something that's adapted, it gives you a lot of different suggestions for different patterns that you can use for EQing your instruments. This does it all. It's a really good plugin. I'm very happy with it. I'm going to be using this going forward because I feel like this could be a very handy tool, especially right at the start of mixing stuff. So if it's acoustic guitar or vocal you've just tracked in, having this as the first plugin will be very helpful. And it's also good on the output mix as well. It gives you a couple of different options, different directions you can go for flavoring the sound of your productions overall. So yeah, I'll leave a link below if you want to check out this plugin for yourself at waves.com. Thank you for watching this video. Smash the subscribe button, help get this channel to 10k. We are nearly there. Thanks for watching, keep making music, and I'll see you in the next video.